YouTube was good. It's your boy, Paul Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post up new content. Ah, well, today's topic, right? We're gonna talk about two very interesting people, Deion Sanders and Scott Adams. Waiting on my other two uh people to come on, right? But while we actually really wait for those two to come on, uh, but like this, people, if you haven't bought this book, Amazon.com, type in book by Curtis Harris. Go ahead and pick up your copy right fast. So, so here's the deal, people. Like I said, we got actually, I really, I really don't know what to actually really call this particular episode or this particular show. I don't know if this particular show could be called discrimination at its finest or racism, so-called racism at its finest. I only say it because you know if you actually really unless you living up under a rock or a cave or whatnot, right? Everybody for the most part has heard the comments of what Deion Sanders has said about how he goes about uh, picking, how he goes about recruiting uh, players, right? So for the most part, he'll say something like, what did he say that one time? Yeah, he said, as far as like the quarterback goes, right? He, you know, both parents got to be in the household, right? Both parents got to be in the household, which for the most part, uh, you really, not to say that you can't find that nowadays, but but then again, there's the simple fact on whether or not they actually really want to play football, right? And so, uh, you got to be smart. You want them to have like at least a 3.5 average or higher, right? And so basically, what he was saying is that dual house, both mom and daddy got to be there because he's gonna be the leader of men, right? And the same thing, I think he said the same thing about the offensive lineman or whatever. Now, when he got over on the defensive side of the ball, you know, it was like, you know, single parent, you know, he getting free lunch or whatever. He he wanna save mama, right? Get mama out of the ghetto, right? But then it was like then he actually really dropped. I want to say he actually really dropped the grade point average, right? But my thing is this, right? Whether you got both parents in the household or whether you got one in the household, right? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if that's the case, and I'll tell you why. Because if it's in your heart, if it's your desire to actually like really play football and actually like really hopefully to make it into the NFL one day, right? just like say whether or not that you got both parents at home and you making a 3.5 GPA, right? Average that, that's not the ingredients. Those are not the ingredients and actually really becoming a football player. I mean, now if the kid or kids, if they're that smart, then hey, good, good for y'all. Then that's just a bonus. But we all know that you could be so-called book smart, right? And then you can't act like, and then you could be like, okay, well, you can look at an exit sign and you really not know what the fuck they talking about with that exit sign, right? So, or you could be like, hey, look, you could be book smart and you don't know when a blitz is coming, you don't know uh, what type of defensive coverage, they showing you and all that kind of stuff. So, far as like so having a high grade point average, again, that's all fine, good, well, but that's actually not going to actually like really make you a football player. It's not going to make you a leader of men just because you got a high GPA, right? So, um, hell, I should know. Shit, I was in the Army 21 years. I was motherfucking platoon sergeant. And then before that, I was goddamn section chief. So I know how the shit goes. Right? I know I have no problem, or I had no problem leading both men and women to actually like really go out and accomplish whatever the fuck that it is that we needed to accomplish. Go do what we got to do with no accidents, whether it was there in the motor pool or whether we actually really carried our ass across that water on deployment. I did what the hell I was supposed to do, right? We went, we did what the fuck we had to do, and we brought our ass back all in one piece. Now, depending on the situation at hand, right? Yeah, you can all come back and we can all come back in one piece, right? But who's to say that your mental faculties may or may not be the same once you bring your ass back. Again, I'm a witness to this. I'm speaking from experience, right? I'm I'll be the first one to tell you, yeah, I'm a little fucked up in the head after all that shit. I mean, cause just being in the army for 20 years, that's it's a good thing, but then again, you get used to a certain routine, and then once it's time for you to retire or whatever, then it's almost like, okay, well, the army actually really doesn't have a program where they can actually really debug your ass. They just send you to some classes, right? And uh, hopefully that you can actually really get a job, right? That's not necessarily army related, but to actually like really use the skills that you have learned while using the army. Whether you did 20 years, 30 years, or 5 years, whatever the case may be. And I know I got off subject there. I know I got off subject, but I'm just actually really talking about as far as like talking about to be a leader of men, right? Because again, you can be a leader, right? But who the fuck finna follow you? Plain and simple. And again, all this, all that shit that Deion was talking about, right? You can actually really take that and apply that with stuff that you can do that, with any of the arm branches, you know, you can apply that same rule. And like I say, I've known plenty of leaders, And basically that's all what the fuck they was there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you may wear the tab, right? But when it's all said and done, you could lead a piece of shit into the toilet bowl, right? And all what the fuck you gotta do is just sit down. So, so in other case, that's my whole spiel with uh with the whole Deion Sanders deal. Now, with this other guy, Scott Adams, right? He again, if you haven't seen the video, go watch the video. Because basically what he said that white folks should stay the hell away. Well, let me say this again. He said that so-called white folks should stay the hell away from so-called black folks. Now, you can look at me, you can look at my shirt, you can look at my tattoo, right? And so again, right? And so the whole and then just for the simple fact, hey, look, people, this is not anything new, right? Hell, when who was that? Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, right? This is something that this isn't brand new. So I'm just like, so if he said it, then okay, got it. I get it, but let's be reasonable here. He is not saying anything that, for the most part, that we ain't never heard before, right? And then I was watching another YouTuber, right? I mean, because he actually like talked about this guy, and basically he said, "Well, was he wrong though?" Right? And I'm just like, I'm just look, Then he was like, he was showing comparisons that what other black folks have said about white folks, all this kind of stuff. And so for me, right, you almost got to ask the question, why? Why is this? I mean, why is there's so much animosity, so much friction, or whatever word that you actually really want to use between so-called white folks and so-called black folks. It's almost like what Bernie Mac said at one time, right? He said, "Don't you hate racism?" He said, "Black thing, white thing." He said, "How about Chinese? I'll be mad at the motherfucker. You'll never say shit about us, never." Right? So, I mean, but but again, here the thing about that, the thing about it though is this. you know, because hell, I can actually like really tell you what the fuck the educational system as it stands right now is totally and completely fucked up. Everybody is put like this. Everybody in some sort of way or fashion, right, has been motherfucking brainwashed by the educational system, right? Because here's the deal. Because it's quite obvious that this guy, whoever the fuck he is, right, that stupidity, and I'm not gonna call it. I'm not calling it racism. I'm calling it stupidity because, again, if you want to sit up here and holler about racism or being a racist, right? At least know what the fuck the word means, right? It's a if and to be and for starters, right? Just know that whether you calling yourself a racist or racism, it's a compound word, prefix, suffix, right? You either finna, and so my whole deal is this: the IST, and I know I said this on my previous channel, and I'm pretty sure I've actually really said it in previous shows here, right? The IST means it's either that you've either mastered the prefix or you are studying to master the prefix. For example, if you want to be a journalist, what the fuck you gonna go practice? You gonna go practice journalism, right? So my whole deal is this: if you gonna be a racist, so-called racist, then first and foremost, let's get this whole, well, I don't like you because you black, or I don't like you because you white. Because as you can see, I got a black shirt on. You can see the black tattoo on my arm now, right? So let's just get that shit out of the way first and foremost. I said this same shit yesterday, right? I'm not a black person. I'm not African American. I'm motherfucking Pentecost, right? My grandfather was Jamaican. My grandmother was Puerto Rican. And my grandmother on my mother's side, she was Cherokee, right? Right to this day, I'm still trying to figure out what my grandfather was. But in either case, right? None of them actually really talked about getting off of the boat from Africa and then talking about, and then you got to be like, okay, well, where about over in Africa did you come from? Because even then, Africa is a motherfucking continent, not a country. There's plenty of countries over in Africa. Because you go over there, you ask any of the people, you go to any country over there in Africa, say you go to Nigeria, then what are those people over there? They're not Africans, they Nigerians. Nigerians that happen to be on the continent of Africa. So stop with that motherfucking African American bullshit. Okay, because like I said, February, which was last month, that was so-called Black History Month, African American History Month, and you raggedy bastards still walking around here hollering about you African American. Got it. You know, so in either case, right? And so you know what I'm saying. This is where the problem starts with education, right? You want to sit up here and motherfuckers want to swear up and down that everybody black was a motherfucking slave. Everybody black came over here on a motherfucking boat. That is not the case. Because the thing about though is this. To travel that far, right? And motherfuckers pissing and shitting on each other, that within itself is actually really gonna cause disease. And for people to get sick. Then that shit gets airborne. Then what? So y'all, so again, you also gotta look at this stuff. And, hey, look, we were already over here. Most of us, right? Hell, you don't believe that? Ask Christopher Columbus. You know, unless they lied like this, unless they're lying about that shit too, right? So, but so you know, so again, it is what it is, people. Now, I got one another piece of information, and hopefully these two will actually really come on here. If not, then I'm just gonna actually I'm I'm just gonna shut it down, plain and simple. So, but in another case, I was, uh, I really didn't. I started to talk about this yesterday, but I figured, if my other two people hurry up and get on here, then maybe just maybe, we'll actually really go ahead and we get this party started. But it was another case. Matter of fact, it was the same channel, and it was this little sixth grader, 11 years old, right? So he go to the library and find this book about apparently it was two boys, right? And they was they was sword fighting. And so the little kid, he got up there, he read some of the stuff. And then because I actually really had to go back and I had to actually really go back and watch it. And then my whole deal is this. I'm not gonna say that it didn't happen, right? But I'm looking at what this little young kid said, right? And so they in the bed, or they in the bedroom, or whatever. So they taking off clothes, whatever. Then the little boy said, well, he reaches into his drawer for a condom. Now, let's stop the press right then and there. Right? Now, if these are two boys sword fighting, the fuck do you need a condom for? I'll wait. I'll wait, I'll wait on this one. And so he read a little bit more, right? And then, everybody, oh, they clap, right? So they all up in the air about this type of book being in the motherfucker, being in the school. And then the guy, he actually really played the clip of the daddy. And so he was like sitting up there, this is bullshit, whatever, and blah blah blah, and all this kind of stuff. And so my whole deal is, okay, now wait a minute now. You bitching, and I'm not gonna say that. Put like this, I'm not gonna say that he doesn't bitch about some of the stuff that's on television. I'm not gonna say that. But my whole deal is, you go to the school board. You go to the school board meeting, right? And then you let your son read it, right? And then he bring it home. He brought the book home so his dad could see it, right? So what my whole deal is, okay, out of all of this shit that you see on television with the homosexual agenda, right? So you're not gonna bitch about what's on TV, but you want to bitch about what's in the motherfucking school, right? Or you're not gonna bitch about what you actually really see outside the first time that you step outside your front door or whatever. And if and I'll be the first one to tell you, right? I don't, because like when I first saw it, then I took it, because actually I really thought it was a boy, a little young boy and a young girl with this. But then I went back. Hold on. So, so another case. right? I'm looking at so I'm looking at this whole deal, right? And well, hold on, I'm gonna send it again. This y'all just give me a minute. Okay, so in either case, uh, hold on, give me a minute because I guess there's one of them that's trying to come on now. So okay, so now hopefully he'll actually really uh join the party. So, well, what I'm saying though is yeah, you all this shit that's going on with television or telling you the vision, right? I mean, you ain't saying nothing about that now. There you is. What's good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. What's happening, team?
You know me, trying to survive. I had my appointment yesterday. It was on the Zoom, right? As far as like the see if I get my other 40%. So like a lot of the stuff was already documented, and so like I said, it was BTC and it lasted about an hour, and I pretty much just told told the doctor everything that I've told you and everybody else, you know, that that actually really went down. So they
Hopefully it goes well because that is a very man that waiting period is a motherfucker. It's a difficult thing,
yeah, it
and
is.
when you actually get acknowledged or dapped in that sense, it's a life changing thing in the sense of the benefits, not even just the money, just what comes with it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So so just like I said, so it was because I told her, because they asked for my medical records and all that kind of stuff. So we got on there, and just like I said, I pretty much told everything. You know, um, I was really, you could only say so much in an hour, right? But I actually really think that it went pretty well yesterday.
It's interesting. In my appointment, um, I thought it went really shitty, and I even started complaining before I knew what the fuck happened.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out it went really well. I was like, damn, I don't know if what came first, the chicken or the egg, but maybe I was just being nervous or something. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. So
But
yeah,
I was convinced, like, she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. This and that. Get the letter. Okay.
uh, so yeah, but in either case, just like I say, sitting up here talking about Deion Sanders and
Ah,
uh and Scott Adams, right? And then I got a little bonus material too. But if you haven't seen the clip, well, we all know about Deion Sanders. He played football, whatever. So he was head coach down there at Jackson State or whatever. He turned that program around, right? Now he up there in Colorado, right? So he was on the what was that? The Rich Eisen show, and
Yeah,
and
great
so
show by the way.
yeah, I've watched that plenty of times too. Uh, so he was I guess he uh they asked him, he's like, well, what do you look for? Like when you get when you recruiting. So basically what he said was, as far as like the quarterback position, both mom and dad got to be in the house. And you gotta
Mhm.
have 3.5 GPA, right? Because this is gonna be the man, he's gonna be a leader of men, right? So I'm like, oh well, okay, here we go. So and then he named off other criteria, but then when he got on the defensive side of the ball, then he was just like, hey, single mother, he's on free lunch, he trying to get it just the best way he can, right? Because he's trying to get mama out of the ghetto, right? But my whole deal is, and what I said was, I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if he said it to be serious or he said it, to be joking. But
Mm.
Dion, so about this is what he looked for when he's going to be recruiting players. So, but then again, you almost got to look at the simple fact. Okay, well, so my question is, I'm like, okay, what does you as a child, right, or young man, and you on the college, and you didn't play at the high, you didn't play pee wee, then you did junior high, high school, now you in college or whatever. And so I'm just like, okay, since when does have not to say that not to say that having both parents is a bad thing, right? But I'm just looking at the fact, since when does having both mom and dad at home, what they got to do with you being a good football player? You know, what does that have to do with you being uh, a leader of men? Because the only reason why I'm saying it is because yeah, I played a little football, right? But mom was always there. My dad, I didn't find out who he was until I was 19.
Oh
And then
wow.
my stepdad, he was there, but then again he really wasn't. So
The best he could, probably.
yeah, and so like for me, right? And now hell, look at how I turned out. I joined the army, I did a 21-year career. I was section chief, then I was platoon sergeant. So so to be a leader of men, that criteria, although it's fine, good and well, right? But you really don't need all that. That's 50-50. Or it could be like 65-45.
Have you watched the series? What they've been doing at the University of Colorado?
Nah, I mean, because I don't know what time it actually comes on. I catch
It's
bits and
it's
pieces of it
every
on YouTube.
day. It's his son Bucky that does it, and it's well his other well he has three sons. One of the sons is the starting quarterback, or he's going to attempt to be the starting quarterback there in the University of Colorado, and I hope for the best for him. But they show up there with a new, we'll call it a culture, and if you've ever been to Boulder, Colorado, that is a dramatic switch in what happened. But if people don't understand, Colorado went 1-11 last year.
Yeah.
One in a Pac-10 school, and Colorado's a powerhouse. Like they
Yeah.
are a big school, and they wanted something new. The boosters weren't showing up. The kids didn't give a damn. Blah blah blah. So he showed up, and have you seen the vlogs or no?
I've seen some of the like I said, I've seen like clips of it. And
I watch it every morning. It's like I don't know, in the neighborhood of I don't know, 12 to 14 to 15 minutes. But here's one thing I noticed. They really love the chow hall.
okay.
No, for you'll see what I'm saying.
Okay.
They love the fucking chow hall and to tell people how to make whatever. And I went to myself, I went, oh shit. Like this should not be on camera. I thought to myself, like, I remember when I'd be like in a good chow hall, I'd be like, oh damn. Okay, here we go. It was the best part of my day.
Yeah.
But if you're a powerhouse, if you're supposed to be a top five school,
Uh-huh.
you gotta chill on the shrimping grits. You don't have to
Oh,
chill.
okay.
You don't have to chill on them. You have to
Yeah.
chill putting it on camera
Yeah. Uh-huh.
because it seems sort of like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. So it's like the
Like they're acting as if like when they go in the chow line, they're acting like we made it
oh damn. Okay.
instead of making an intercept. There ain't no interceptions. There ain't no field goals. There ain't no motherfucking cross routes, fade routes, in and out. None of that. It's like we got shrimp and grits, and I go, oh fuck.
Yeah. My
And
whole deal
his
is
son, his oldest son, which
yeah,
is his oldest son, which is his younger son,
yeah.
at the same time, is doing like YouTube content,
Uh-huh.
and it's like it's all swagged out.
Oh,
Like you as soon as you watch it, you understand.
okay.
And it's like as soon as you go 0-3, Coach Prime, everyone's gonna go like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh damn, really?
Well, I want him to go fucking 12-0. I want them to win national championship. I'm a fan. I'm a super mark. But as I'm watching it, I go, "Oh no."
Yeah. So that's
There's a
that's
lot of this talk. There's a lot of this talk. They look at the mountains and they go, "God is so good." God, there's a lot of "God is so good" talk, which is fine
yeah.
until you get your ass ran over by somebody from Nebraska. You don't think God's good in Nebraska?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You don't think God's good for the Cornhuskers?
Yeah, I know, right?
You went 1-11 last year. If you win 5 games, that's great. But you're playing USC, UCLA, Oregon, Oregon State, Washington. Like you're playing a bunch of fucking dogs up there. Like I don't.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
The
You know,
Pac-10, like that's full of Hawaii. Same way, like it's
yeah, it's one of those things that you can't come in there
until he
with
gets beat 38-0. They're like, what the fuck? Where's
yeah,
the chicken grits?
you know, and
You know,
that's
you're laughing, but if you would have saw the videos they're putting out, his son's putting out,
uh-huh.
it's like us in a like at a good chow hall. That's all you need to know.
Oh, okay.
But they're sort of like giddy, if that makes sense. Like you're at the fucking buffet line.
Oh, like they happen to be there, like they
Oh,
just
that's what I'm saying exactly.
yeah. Oh, okay.
And I was
Like
like,
they
you think University of Alabama's doing this?
oh, so it's almost like one of those like like okay, if I'm hearing you right, it's like okay, say like we go to our child hall, and for the most part, it's pretty good or whatever. But then when you go to an Air Force child hall, then it's like the difference between night and day.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I
And
got
and and they're acting like they've not been there, if that makes sense.
See, that's well, put like this. If they acted like that just because they go into
No,
the
it's
child,
over and over and over. It's like 6 videos.
yeah. So if they acted like that just because they go into the child hall, then yeah, they probably gonna get their dick thrown in the dirt, you know, if they ain't too careful, you know. And so, but
They
yeah,
brought they brought they the latest episode. You'll see it. I don't know who that guy is because it was outside of my frame, but like he was from the '90s,
uh-huh.
and he was a Hall of Famer. And Deion brought him in, but he was wearing a Dallas Cowboys T-shirt, and
Oh yeah, because I know he did say he was
he was like
bringing
an offensive lineman or something.
yeah, he did. I know he was saying something about he was gonna bring in. I forget who he said that he brought in because I do remember that he brought somebody up there, to help out, you know, with those guys with those kids or whatever. Yeah, I
They
remember.
they took 2 coaches from him this year before even school start. I mean, before the season started. Two of
Yeah.
their coaches are head coach, or not head coaches. Two of their coaches are coaches for the Minnesota Vikings now.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I
Every
they
single every
yeah.
single day they put out, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes.
What is it? What is it called? Coach Prime or what is it called?
No, it's not called Coach Prime, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's called, hold on. Let me look at it. Well, I don't know how, hopefully it doesn't knock me out of this.
Well, just when you can, just send me the link when you can, so I can check it out. So
It seems like it's something else, but it's not. It's
okay,
like it's his son's channel,
uh huh,
his oldest son's channel. It's called, starts with a we. I don't know.
okay. So, but yeah,
You'll know. It's, I mean, you'll know.
okay, all
I'll
right,
I'll send you a link though.
okay then.
Can I tell you
Yeah.
something? It's a good watch. I enjoy watching it because a guy I know down here, Todd Clem, Bubba the Love Sponge, who's like a local radio host, is good friends with him.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, it's they talk about it here. But however, like I'm a huge fan of Deion Sanders,
Yeah, yeah.
and he'll always talk about Deion this, Deion that. His big joke down here is I was so fat. Now he's like 240, I think, but at the time he
Uh,
was like 400 something.
oh,
And
you
he
talking about
Bubba the Love Sponge,
yeah, uh huh,
and like his whole
yeah,
joke
because
was
I know
I got stuck in Dion's tub.
oh damn,
He got stuck in his bathtub. Like he
wow,
slipped. He got slipped, and he. You got to hear this story where he was talking about it, and he's like, I was so goddamn, like I was so fat. I didn't want to embarrass Dion because he's a huge Green Bay Packers fan. It was when they were playing the Packers somehow, whatever. But
yeah,
they just happened to be friends. And he's like, I didn't want. Dion had said like, nobody bother me, nobody tell me nothing. I need to sleep for like 3 hours before the game, blah blah, or get ready.
uh huh.
And he slipped in the tub, and his I'm sorry, his ass slipped over like the socket, like you know what I'm saying, like.
Uh-huh.
And he said it created like, and if you ever hear Brother Love Sponge talking like, yeah, it created like a socket or like some sort of suction cup or something like this, yeah. So that my back was going, and I was too embarrassed. I didn't know what to do, but I was starting to get panicked. I was starting to get claustrophobic. Yeah. But there was a phone, and he's like, I didn't know if I was supposed to call Dion or security or what, but I was so embarrassed. But also, I was starting to freak out. Yeah. So I started banging on the tub, and one of the security guys came in and just pulled me out. He's like, I could never let Deion. And then he was on the air with Deion,
Uh-huh.
and Deion was like, "Sponge, that is hilarious, my man. That is hilarious."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have to.
He created a suction cup
Damn. Yeah.
around that is fat as hell.
You got to be a big son bitch to get stuck in a tub. So, uh,
That's his whole thing.
yeah. Damn. So, but yeah, but I'm just I just because but I was I was hearing that what he said, right, and I was just like, okay, well, I mean, not to say that everybody, that's a college football head coach, whatever. I'm not saying that that's what I'm not saying that. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, okay, well, if Dion is doing it like that, well, what about the rest of the college head coaches? Are they doing that, or are they just looking at the simple fact? Hey, look,
It's a great point.
we trying to are we are they doing that what Dion is doing, or we just looking for top quality high school football players to come join our program and actually like really be either be part of a winning tradition or at least start a winning tradition. So because I'm just looking at it like this, if I was if I was a head coach on a collegiate level, right, and you playing high school football, or put like this, I've been watching you since junior high. Now I'd have watched you all through junior high, I'd have watched you all through high school or whatever. And then I'm like, you know what? That kid there can be really good, for what I'm trying to do here. Okay, say like me, you, and Super Smooth or whatever, right? We on a we the folk we in charge of the football team, regardless of college university it is, right? And so we sitting up here, we looking at all of the and speaking of Super Smooth, here she is. What's good, Super Smooth?
What's up? How y'all doing?
We good? Sitting up here talking about Dion, and what and what he's and how he pick how he pick our football players. You know?
Yeah, his selection process.
Yeah.
Have you seen the social media online, like what his son does?
Which the one that records them or the ones
Yeah,
that play?
yeah. I don't know what the channel's called. It starts with like we something something something.
Yeah, Deion Sanders Jr. He pretty much is like the
Bucky, is that his name?
something like that. It's like he vlogs his dad, and then he got a clothing line or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool, but it just if somebody selected his sons like that, I don't think they would be playing football.
Exactly. So that's and that's what me and Zach was talking about, because I just said, now is the rest of the college football coaches, are they doing that, or is this just Dion?
It seems, if you really watch the content, what they're doing, I hope the best for them. And that's what I was saying. Like, I really hope the best for them. But I'm telling you, they were fired up on the Chow Hall. And I'm like, man, this is a bad look. I'm telling you, this is a bad look. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But you see the workouts, and there's no way to say, like, especially in college sports like that, in the Pac-10, it's like, okay, because there's swagger, because there's content, you think they're that, and your son's the quarterback because the other quarterback is a good quarterback there. And he's like, no, he's the new quarterback. You guys are going to get pushed out. We coming. We this. There's a lot of trendy things being said, and I'm a huge Deion fan. But I'm like, they play some big dogs, like literally. Like they play USC, they play UCLA, they play Oregon, they play Washington. Like there's some good fucking teams out there, and they get their ass beat 48-0. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the first, and that's something that I was looking at because it's crazy because I in contrast to that, I watch a lot of women's basketball, and no different than the stigma on Black coaches anywhere at any level. Women's basketball, we were on the downfall for the longest, so it's nice to see a comeback on that side, but then you flip on over to college football with the men's. The thing is, like you said, you can have all the players on your team that are going to be promising and good prospects, but if you can't play in a damn game and win a game, the first loss that Colorado takes is going to be heavily criticized, is going to be on every channel. But then here it is. The minute that he has a winning season, they are going to treat the Colorado's football team is going to be treated like the Dallas Cowboys. I guarantee you that. They are going to be America's college team. I guarantee you that. And if he's successful, he is going to streamline everybody from Colorado straight to the NFL, AFL, XFL, whatever the hell they can get him in. And that's the thing. But he is banking, and we all know I grew up on Deion Sanders. Y'all grew up on Deion Sanders. He banks everything on winning. This is like the not to say that he's another Nick Saban. He's Deion. This is prime time. So if he's not successful as, say a Alabama or say a Michigan State or Michigan or Iowa,
and that's what they're expecting.
And it's a lot of money tied into that. I like you said, I wish y'all the best, but if you lose, it is going to be a catastrophic failure.
Here's the problem: is like that Pac-10 is no joke. I'm telling you. UCLA, first of all,
UCLA ain't playing no games. Period.
UCLA, Oregon, Oregon's like always top 10. UCLA is probably top, I don't know, top 5 in the country.
Yeah,
it's not SEC, but it's top 5 in the country. And you got USC, you got Washington, you got Hawaii. You got Nevada. You got some dogs out there.
And you got these teams where these kids is in the middle of nowhere. They ain't got no family there. So that's the mindset they in. My mama 10,000 miles or my mama 1,500 miles away. It don't matter who in a single parent home. It doesn't matter who in a 2-parent household. It don't matter. When you away from your family, and we all know how that feels. When you away from your family, there is nothing that you won't do to get out there and eat. There's nothing that you won't do. I mean, you're going to do everything in your power. And if that means roughing up Deion Sanders, everybody is going to take a stab at prime time. And I'm sorry, I'm a defensive-minded person. I will try to take Shedeur Sanders right on out the game at first play. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. If you like, and his son is really good at social media, but like they're putting out these videos, it's every single day. It's like 20 minutes of content, and they're getting a little full of themselves. It's like they're fired up at the chow hall. Like, look at the amount. Like, look at this food. Look at this cafeteria. I'm like, this is not a good look. This is not. This is not a good look. You don't show this shit.
But you know what though, that Smoke, is funny that how you did that with Deion and like if he lose, then it's
well, what if he gets his ass beat though? Not just lose. Not like 28-21. Like what if it's 48-0?
Yeah,
It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's college football.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. Look at Texas. Look how long it took for Texas to
Oh,
come
that's
back.
the other thing. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, they're in that division, Pac-10.
Look at all of these teams that took catastrophic losses and with big time coaches. The coaches still get paid, but these kids, they go home and they have to hear the criticism. You know, it is only a small percentage of players go to the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, some of them go on and they move on with their lives. But we get it. We know what primetime brings to the, you know, and I'm glad that HBCUs are now on television now. Yeah. I'm excited to see that. You know, let's not forget the history that there are a lot of HBCU players that are in the NFL. You know, but it should get to the point where I'm mainly speaking of conference football. And some of them teams, those West Coast offense type teams, they ain't nothing to be played with. Like I'm always gonna be an LSU fan, but I like the West Coast team. I like UCLA. I like the way that Stanford plays. I really enjoyed it, you know, back in the heyday.
That high tempo bang bang. That's serious. They're serious athletes.
And they have prospects. I mean, what's that school that what was it that Snoop Dogg's son went to?
God damn it.
You got that school, and then what you got? Long Beach Poly. I mean, you got some powerhouse high schools.
BYU. Hold on, who else? Utah. Damn, where's Snoop? I know what you're talking about too, Snoop.
It's like, damn, you know, where does Colorado fall into that? You mean, I can believe it. It happens.
They want to get in the mix. They went 1-11 last year.
So
here's a question for y'all, right? Now, so what would be? So they was 1-11. There was 1-11. So what would be classified as a good first year for Deion up there in Colorado?
He has to have a winning percent. He has to be over 500. Has to be.
Literally anything over 500. Look, do you have a desktop? Anybody to bring up their schedule?
That's what I'm doing right now. Like you read my mind.
They're dealing with killers. They're not going to be Oregon. They're not going to be UCLA. They're not going to be USC. I mean, unless I'm missing something.
Okay, so September 2nd, it's Colorado versus TCU.
What's the name? What's it's the Colorado what is it?
Colorado Buffaloes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now listen. I'm just gonna go down a list.
TCU.
Just listen. Hold on. And look, I'm pointing out the dates because as we know, you got September 2nd, TCU. Yeah. September the 9th, Nebraska. September 16th, Colorado State. September 23rd, Oregon. The 30th of September, USC, Arizona, Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona. And I'm just going to stop right there.
It ain't going to be good.
Your boys are going to be so beat up. Your secondary better be ready. I mean, you better have some players on standby and on standby.
What happens when one of these cornbread motherfuckers takes Shador out? Shador is Deion's son, who's the quarterback, who's a top prospect out of an HBSC. I get it. But when he gets clipped, then what?
Yeah.
Because your legs can't get you out of everything. What? And then you want to hear something else? You want to hear something else that's even crazy? Guess where that game is? The first game against TCU. It's here in Fort Worth. It's right here.
I was about to say, it better not be in Waco.
So the thing is, that game, I guarantee you, I'm sorry, I'm not a TCU fan, but if they win that game,
just to answer your,
those horned toes, they coming down. Those horned frogs.
just to answer y'all's question about Snoop Dogg's son, where he went to school, UCLA.
There you go.
No. The high school that he went to. There's a
The
high
high school.
The high school that Snoop Dogg's son went to.
Okay.
I think it was in Vegas.
Yeah. I think it's called like it's the same one that Dana White and the president of the UFC son went to. It's like a highly touted, like it's a proving ground for like talent for college talent. It's called something Academy. Something Academy.
He transferred to Vegas Prep. He transferred to Vegas.
I thought it was called something else. It's called like they have one in Florida and one in Vegas.
Yeah. Just like that the school in New Orleans.
Yeah.
The high school in New Orleans. I mean, it's kind of like it's like here in it's like South Lake Carroll. I mean, you already know automatic D1.
Yeah. It's a proving ground for it.
Or it's another one. I mean, hell, I think they had a TV show. It was a
what was that show called in Vegas?
Bishop German.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Bishop Gorman.
Bishop Gorman. That's where Dana White kids, like the guy who was like the guys who own the UFC, that's where their kids go.
Yeah.
And then you got Long Beach Poly. It's a kid. I forget the kid's name.
And then down in Florida, right where I live, we have IMG Academy. They literally have they have like hotels that are not hotels. So their families could stay there while these kids go to school and play these games. And they're highly touted. They call it 7A. And it's like, if you're in everywhere America, there ain't no 7A. You know what 7A is? Like, that's a huge deal. Like, their games are on television.
Exactly.
And,
the kid out of Long Beach Poly was Nico.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he went to he committed to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So,
but down here,
so it's a 12 games, right? So what? 7-5 or 6-6?
Well, it could go fucking 3-0. I mean, they're playing. Do you still have the schedule up?
Yeah.
Read it again.
Okay. You got hold on, let me go back.
I'm telling you.
I haven't watched college.
Oregon and Oregon State are going to be top 25 in the country.
Yeah, you got TCU and Nebraska. I mean, they're going to lose one of those first out of those first 3 games. They're going to lose at least one.
They got to play TCU first.
Yep.
Oh shit!
They play TCU. They play TCU first in Texas.
Oh no!
You probably can win the Nebraska one. You might win Colorado State. I doubt they're going to win Oregon. I doubt USC. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then they have I think they have a bye week before they play UCLA. I mean, they're playing. This is not an easy conference. This is not an easy.
They have to play TCU on the road to start their season.
Yes, that's a tall order.
And you know what? You know what TCU is thinking? We're about to
make an example.
Fuck that ass up.
Yeah, but you know what? Like to go back to what you said earlier. Smoke when you was talking about you was talking about the Dallas Cowboys and how everybody either love them or hate them, but everybody is going to target the Dallas Cowboys each and every year, right? And then for Deion, because y'all already know what the dean of Jackson State said. right? I mean, it's almost like he is waiting. He is waiting for Deion to fail, and I'm just like, you almost like you hate that, but it's just like what you said earlier. It's bound to happen, because you could be like, okay, you could go to the well one time too many, right? You could be like, okay, yeah, I brought y'all up, now I'm going here, right? And I just, for me, I really don't think Colorado is gonna treat Dion the same way that Jackson State did.
But
I,
but trip but trip this
No, you should watch the social media.
but
He's doing his thing.
here's the predictions for the year for Pac-12. So they got Stanford 2-10. They got them losing in the
Wow.
conference. Okay, they got California at 3-9. They got them 1-8 for the conference. They have Colorado 4-8, 3-6 for the conference. So they have them at a losing season. Arizona at 5-7, 3-6 for the conference. So they got Colorado and Arizona neck and neck. They got Washington State at an even 6-6, Arizona State 7-5, UCLA 7-5, Utah 8-4. So the key game for them is going to be UCLA, Arizona State, and Utah. They have to, they're going to have to perform. It's going to have to be a damn miracle.
So okay, so here's my next question. So they was 1-11 yet last year. So what was their record previous to that 1-11?
Let me see. Hold on, let me look. Let's see, Colorado record.
They don't bring up Oregon.
Yeah, because I'm just like, okay, yeah, 1-11 was last year, but what did they do the year previous?
Can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah, I hear you.
What do they say about Oregon?
What their record gonna be?
Yeah, like the predictions.
I don't know, Smoot.
Hold on, I was looking at Colorado. For Oregon.
Okay. Damn. These motherfuckers been around forever and a day.
Right.
I met Marshawn Lynch at the Oregon campus.
Wait, did you?
He stay up there.
For real. Right there outside of Eugene. Like just being cool. He was doing stuff because the Nike headquarters is outside of Eugene where I was living at. Uh-huh. And I was like, what the fuck? Like you will see like just athletes. I'm like, wait a second. Because in Eugene, I hate to tell you, it's a lot of white people. It's either white people or incredible athletes, one or the other.
Yeah.
And
okay,
I got it right here. Marshawn Lynch.
I got it right here. So last year they went 1-11, and in 2021 they went 4-8. Right.
Not great.
And then they was 4-2, 5-7, 5-7.
Had they ever won a national championship?
So
I don't remember that.
The last time that Colorado had a winning season was 2016 when they went 10-4.
When they play in the fucking Chick-fil-A Bowl.
I don't know.
The fuck? It was a national championship. What are they predicting Oregon to do this year?
They got Oregon at 10-2.
Okay, that makes sense.
So these guys
at 10-2. Shit. When they play Oregon? Even
That's
Oregon
right.
State's good.
Yeah, they got Oregon State at 10-2 as well. They got all the big
Oh,
at 10-2.
they're
So if
in a
he
tough division. I'm telling you.
if he doesn't at least, like I said, he has to have over 5. He has to win over 5 games for it to be, and not only does he have to do well in regular games, but he has to do well in conference.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. These Oregon dudes, I met them. I'm telling you, all these fucking offensive linemen are these fucking Sioux motherfuckers. I'm telling you, like they're all fucking from Samoa or this type of shit. Like they're fucking huge. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like
Well.
these
Yeah.
Samoan motherfuckers. And I'm just like, in Oregon, they like to run it up like, I don't know. They're like, if you don't score fucking 40 in a game, I'm telling you, they let it fly.
Yeah.
And then they got, I think they got
Fuck, and Oregon
UCLA.
State's good too right now.
Yeah, this is why a lot of people that kind of foresaw the future or kind of looked at it in a different way, they said that it was a bad idea that he went to Colorado at this time. I mean, I get it, but I mean, we don't know what the plan is, but like I said, I think he's just trying to streamline to the NFL.
Yeah. But but you know what though? Let's uh let's be fair, right? Um, any coach, I mean, now, great the fact, Deion, he knew to this. But let's just be fair. Like, for any new coach, whether it's on a professional level or collegiate level, if you was well known and then you come into a new program, then, they expecting like this turnaround or whatever, right? You know, I mean, for like this, if he gets if for like this a 6-6 record, I could be like, well, okay,
Well, compared to 1-11, shit.
yeah. So because you gotta look at it like this, look at what Jimmy Johnson did when he came to Dallas. Shit, he was 1-15 his first season.
But this is Jimmy Johnson we talking about here, the man from Miami, from the U.
Yeah.
That would
Okay.
he had that type. He came in. That's just like, for instance, one of my favorite coaches, Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
He came in, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But by then, Jerry just had his hand in too much of the cookie jar. But
Yeah.
you and we get it, but we have never seen this in this type of way. This is a black coach that has a good, positive reputation, and you are expected to perform, nothing less.
Yeah.
The same way they was gonna play at you at that HBCU. We know why. We get it. If my son was a vet, yeah, you can go play for Deion. You better represent. But
Yeah.
I might not say the same thing. Now you take your ass to Colorado. If it don't work out, you come on back home. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different world out there. I mean, I get it. They welcome him with open arms, but of course. But you got to look at it from the other side. Colorado needed him too. Colorado needed him just as much, just as equally. They needed a new face. They needed to put somebody else in the forefront. It was a perfect opportunity for Colorado. So whether they fail, it's like you said, it's better than 1-11.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just think now here's the deal. So okay, let's just say for shits and giggles, right? He either finished 6-6. Well, I'm looking at 3 scenarios, right? He can either finish 7-5, 6-6, or 5-7, right? I'm just looking at the simple fact. Okay, anything put like this: if he win one more game, well, I'm not gonna. because then they'll be like, damn, you brought all this and all which you was able to produce was just we got one more win than what we did the previous year. So I'm sitting saying he either got to do 5-7, 6-6, or 7-5 for them to be like, okay, well, at least we on the right track. I'm not really expecting for Deion to go in there and just blow the doors off everybody, right? But I'm just like, okay, he's gonna really have to. It's just like what you said. He's gonna have to get them boys ready. Just to actually really play some football.
But just taken from his own saying, ain't no time like prime time. There is nothing that you can do as an athlete. And this is, for me, myself, I mean, I played basketball for a long time. And, I wasn't the type of player that wanted to be in the limelight. I wanted to make you look like a complete fool.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I was, Dennis Rodman is my favorite player. So that'll give you an example of the type of trickery that I was on. I didn't care if I had 2 points. I had some rebounds though. You know what I'm saying? I made you look like a fool. I messed your scoring average up. I got the recruiters looking at me too.
But with Rodman, Rodman got into your head. Though.
Exactly. So my thing is, these boys have to be prepared for players like that. Yeah. Because I wish it was a microphone, an uncut, raw microphone on that field, because I can imagine the amount of shit that they're going to be talking on that field. I mean, it's going to be something serious. I just want to be a fly on the football. I really do. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be thick. I think this is probably.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, this ain't fucking FAMU. This is fucking the University of Oregon, and they're gonna knock your fucking block off. They're gonna knock your fucking block off in Western time.
Yeah.
And everybody gonna be tuned in. I mean, this is gonna be like,
they're gonna knock your shit right off your.
They're gonna be. I mean, it's Pac-12. It's a bigger division. You finna get TV time. I mean, this is gonna be equivalent to the damn. This is gonna be like Kobe's last game.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. It could be 20. They don't mind being 20 down. They don't mind being 21 down. Who gives a fuck? We can score 21 in 10 minutes. But here's the thing. They're 21 up, and then he's gonna come around the corner. He's gonna come around the corner, and he's gonna knock those chopsticks off your son. And then what? Shador, someone drag him off the sideline, and then the fans are going, what the fuck? And the sun is going to be shining in Boulder. I get it. At about 12,000 feet. I get it. And these Oregon Ducks, or who the fuck ever, USC, UCLA, Arizona is dogs. Arizona State dogs. I'm telling you, like, they're gonna fucking roll you over.
And that, the thing, and that just brought something else to mind. The one thing that you said that we've all said about these other schools is the one thing that Colorado doesn't have. They don't have an identity. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they about yet. So in the midst of being, you finna get criticized. It's finna be a PR struggle if they lose one game. If they don't win 5 games, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I said he at least got to win 5. He at least got to win 5.
I think TCU might blow their ass out.
That's fine. If TCU blows them out,
if they beat TCU, okay, we off and running. But I got a sneaky suspicion. If I was in Vegas, I'd put the fucking house on the Horned Toads, on the Horned Frogs.
You would?
I would. Fuck. You know how good TCU is?
I mean, I hear what you're saying.
A 1-11 Colorado Buffalo organization?
I guarantee you this. I guarantee you a part of their scouting team or video review, I guarantee you film is going to be important, because I guarantee you they're going to watch that Georgia and TCU game. I guarantee you that. They're going to find some flaws because a lot of people thought TCU had a hell of a chance, and Georgia went up in there and tore that ass up.
Yeah,
I think also the SEC, the SEC and NCAA is letting Colorado know. Let's not get it twisted. What's going on here?
But Super Bowl, I saw that ass whooping. I'm just like, damn.
I was at work watching that. Like I was like, this is ridiculous. This is not.
Damn, did TCU? I was like, damn. Did TCU even decide to show up?
No,
but make no mistake. Make no mistake. How TCU was invited to the dance,
and they got tapped on.
Yeah, make no mistake. But make no mistake, TCU will fucking dap your ass.
But they got down there, and them Georgia boys, they handled their business.
Oh, you know what? Okay, hey, you know what's interesting about that statement? You don't think they're ready to like reestablish their name?
And that's my point. TCU, if they win, TCU is gonna try to. I mean, I'm telling TCU is gonna try to make a statement. They're gonna try to make a statement that whole time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just imagine what you telling yourself. You already ready. You making sure your grades is right. You making sure you ain't finna miss no class.
Hold on. You're not even black if you don't play at Colorado.
Shit. I mean, like this finna be. It's gonna get crazy. It's just like that's what I said. This is no different than when we seen. With the women's basketball. When the last time you seen LSU and South Carolina this hyped up? Women's basketball.
Yeah, it's a great point.
That right there, that was a game. That was a game, and them ladies.
It meant more than the game. Yeah.
It was just like now, sports is coming back because it's like, like with the NBA when they started flopping. They started doing that shit. I started watching hockey again. I said, man, I'm finna go watch some. I'm finna go watch some real stuff. When the NFL was doing them penalties for the quarterback. I mean, come on now, look. If you gonna let them play, or you gonna let them play? What you gonna do?
Exactly.
Because I came to see somebody get dunked on. I came to see somebody get hit. I want my money's worth, or I'm walking the hell out.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Hey, I think we got that down pretty. We got that down pretty good. So, Scott Adams. I don't know if y'all actually really saw the video or not, but he didn't came out.
I heard him say it.
He didn't came out and said that white folks should just stay the hell away from black folks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just like, okay, you saying something that people previous to you have been saying. So they actually really treating this shit as if it was motherfucking brand new. So
my question is, what if you're Bob Marley or Barack Obama? How you do that? If you're Bob Marley or Barack Obama, which means is white mother, black father.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are mixed race.
Yeah.
So how would you do that?
Well, the thing about that though is I forget, it's a quote in the Bible where it says that you are what your father is. So
it was interesting in the Jewish race. If your mother's Jewish, you're Jewish. But if your father's Jewish and you marry into it, you're not Jewish.
Yeah. Well, so again, that's
what are you, anti-Semitic, sir? I'm kidding.
That's but see, I'm just saying this is what this guy said. Right?
He's very smart, by the way, Scott Adams, generally.
And well, actually, he was I guess he's like a he do cartoons.
Created Dilbert.
He do cartoons or some shit. So
you never seen Dilbert?
Yeah.
That's the cartoonist from that.
Yeah. So then, like I said, he got on his rant a couple of days ago, and that's what he said. That white folks should stay away from black folks, and
Mm.
I'm just like, okay, what the fuck else is new, right? And then like I was watching this other guy on YouTube because he actually already played the video or whatever, and then so his question was, well, was he wrong though? So I'm just like, so my thing is that okay, he said that. Then he went and got some black folks that say the exact same shit. That
Mm.
well, yeah, maybe we should separate. But my
Oh,
whole deal
geez.
is,
Come
but no,
on.
but no, but listen, I say that because I'm bringing this up because we all wore the uniform, so that white black shit goes out of the window, or at least it was supposed to go out of the window.
Theoretically, it goes out the window.
Yeah, so this you know what I'm saying. So I that so when he says shit like that, or when anybody says anything like that, right? For me, right, it's bullshit because it's just like what Zach said. You got so much intertwining going on there, right? That you got you might have somewhere down, you go down your family tree and somebody somewhere is either black right here, and then they marry somebody white right there, and then they have kids, but then 100 years
You have
later.
a Dr. Big Carson that they call
Yeah,
an Uncle Tom. So now you're an Uncle Tom. Or you have a white dude who lives in whatever inner city in America who's like, he's blacker than some of the people in suburbs in whatever America. So it's like, that is a very interesting thing.
yeah.
That
I mean,
I would like to
but
hear you guys talk about it because that is a very interesting thing.
I mean, the
I don't know
thing
if you're
is that
Spanish or Latino or Arab or whatever. People just don't give a fuck. They don't say anything.
it's like you said, is a lot of times when you and we all know this. We've all been out the country. We've all been in different countries.
yeah,
When you leave the United States of America, all of that black versus white shit goes right on out the window.
yeah,
Yep.
Okay, we already know that.
uh-huh.
Okay, but okay, so this he what now in my mind, when you first read the comments, when you first hear it, it is the same as saying when you go to the hood, lock your doors.
Yep,
Okay, why would you leave your doors unlocked any damn way?
exactly.
I don't care if I'm in Beverly Hills.
Lock
Okay,
lock up your shit. So yeah,
if you go to Colleyville, if you go to South Lake Carroll, make sure that you're not speeding.
uh-huh.
If if you a black person and you in a predominantly white environment, you code switch.
Yeah,
That's, it's not saying stay away. It's act accordingly.
yeah,
That's the way that I look at it, because the world that we live here in good old America, we still have to deal with the white versus black thing. But
Even you could take it to a next level. A person of color and a woman, and people don't like that. Like generally in conservative news areas, they won't talk about that. But now, I mean, people don't like to fucking talk about that. But a person of color who happens to be a woman, you could probably speak more than that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that
like, you probably don't understand this or that. It's like, shut the bitch. I'm a veteran. I'm this. I know everything you know.
And it's what's crazy is to me is that you expect me to believe that for what he said, yeah, maybe in the context or the environment that he was in, it was good for what it was. But I'm at the point where I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
If y'all still on this black versus white shit, or white versus black, whatever. I'm a human, you a human. I got 10 toes and 10 fingers, and so do you.
Yeah.
We all that shit where we uneducated, that's done and over with. Kill that noise. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen people on YouTube like black people on YouTube talk about, hey, we're not pro-Trump, but we need to secure this fucking border because African Americans, like or black people represent like what? I think like 13 to 15% of the population. And Latinos represent over, when I say illegal Latinos, like, oh, you don't like Mexicans? That's not what the fuck I'm saying. I'm saying they represent overwhelmingly, probably like 30%. And there seems to be this stuff of black leaders saying, hey, we need to fucking pick it up here because we haven't even got, what we need to get from the whitey, and these fucking brown motherfuckers are rolling in.
But my whole
deal. Have you seen that, or am I tripping?
Now listen,
maybe my algorithm. I don't know.
My whole deal is when somebody says something like that, right?
But I love tacos. Just let everybody know.
And so, and then because y'all know I was the EO rep, so. And then when you say, so when somebody says a statement like what he said, right? Mm-hmm. White folks should stay away from black folks. Well, guess what?
We did.
I regret the fact, as far as like the army is concerned, that's the army. But if we gonna look at it from that perspective, right? Well, guess what? Latinos are considered to be white folks.
What?
How so?
Well, now listen. This not me talking. This is like that last class that I did as a.
You mean other than black?
Yeah. So I'm just saying that
they're not white, but they're other than black. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just telling you. Like again, if you're a Latino, then you're a Latino. Right. But I'm just telling you how, and I'm actually really thinking that when back in 2020, when they did the census, because them fuckers actually really came out to my house when I was in Texas. Right. So
but the census, you gotta look at it. What based on the information, a lot of that equal opportunity shit is written by who? A lot of our school books is written by who? The census was started by who? Yeah, okay, yeah. We knew for a long time, based on what Zach said, we are in the majority. If you take what you want to call colored people, okay, and then whites, if you do whites and non-whites, whites are the minority. Yeah. But see, the thing is,
definitely now
it's based on it. Back then, it was based on a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
If you want to sit here and say that to leave you, if you want to tell white folks now to leave black folks alone. Well, the better question is, why the hell y'all come and bother us? Because apparently we was here first. We was minding our own damn business. That's my thing. You can't tell me that in a minute. You can't tell me that. I'm sorry, but I find very strange points and very strange inaccuracies in the transatlantic slave. I'm not denying the fact that there were slaves. I'm not saying that. But you expect me to believe that you got on a wooden boat and put people on the bottom of a wooden damn boat and expected them to make it across the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of
Exactly.
Beat your ass like Oregon versus fucking Colorado.
Like I don't believe that what you did was the same shit they do here. Come on in, buy this car.
You know what's interesting about all this shit too?
What's that?
All these race relation issues, BLM, all this stuff, which is great. I like to see like protests and people do stuff. President Barack Hussein Obama didn't say a fucking word about that.
But could he? Could he?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know.
Because here's the thing.
If he could not, that's an even bigger.
But here's the thing. the most all of this race relation was based off of, just like our Constitution was written from the minds of middle-aged white men.
Yeah.
Still to this day, the most successful people on this particular earth, or at least in America for a long period of time, were middle-aged white men.
Yeah.
Your salary, your household income, when you watch these old school movies, everything was based off of the income of the white man. Everything you ate was the white man's diet. What the white man do? You wanted to dress like nobody. Now you get into this cultural appropriation shit. Now you like it because your
No,
kid
can I ask you a question? Like in your heart, do you feel that?
Feel what?
Like what you just said.
What you mean?
Like what you were just
Everything was based off of the white
expounding
man.
on. Like, do you really feel that? Like in your heart, like you feel that?
I'm speaking in the terms of how history was made out to be.
Right.
When in the past, I'm not saying that that's how I feel now, because I feel like a lot of things have been brought into light, a lot of truths, or
Yeah,
a lot
but
of.
I think it's important for people to hear that. Like
Yeah.
there's some truth to it. Without question, there's truth there. You know.
But you know what, there, Smoke, is like what you said earlier about putting all of us on a boat coming over here, right? Like I say, I doubt that very seriously too. And it can actually like really be proven from what we did. Just like I said, when we decided to raise our right hand, join the army, right? We went down to MEP station, we got our physicals, we got our clean board of health, right? But then the first time that they stick you in a barracks room with is you and 29 other motherfuckers in there, right? We all got the same clean board of health, but somebody finna catch a cold. It's gonna be like half of that damn room is gonna get sick. It's been proven. So, and then it's pretty much spaced out in the barracks room or whatever. Now here it is, you on a ship, you packed like sardines, right? Pissing and shitting every goddamn where, right? So the chances of a group of people in the bottom of a boat, right, coming from Africa to here, the chances of you making it is next to none.
Why you got like why you gotta single me out like that?
And then if you do make it, if you do make it, you're so fucked up that they might just go ahead and put you out of your motherfucking misery. So
that's just like with the theory of with Christopher Columbus. I mean, everybody know where the hell he went. Or that's just like if you go to South Carolina and talk to the people that still speak the language, they call them Geechee.
Oh wow!
Speak to them. You know what I'm saying? Go to Puerto Rico or go to certain parts of Mexico. Hell, if you go to certain parts of New York, you have to really pay attention and look at the people who was there already.
Yeah.
Or for instance, a fact that I like to always bring up: the game of the one way people like to, some of these people that started this shit in America, that colonized, I would say, look at it as this way: the game of lacrosse. Do you see truly any people of color play lacrosse?
Not really.
Hell no. So that game of lacrosse was actually an old Native American game.
Oh, yeah, I can believe that with the baskets. If you think about it,
But we look at it.
Hey, I want you guys to keep going. I'm gonna listen to this. my son, he's going fucking nuts right now. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, well, we'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving.
Fuck. That's what it is being a dad. Smoot, never have a kid. I'm telling you right now.
But
I fucking hey, I love you guys.
all right, man. Love you too. Take care.
All right, peace.
Yep.
But it's just when you look at the aesthetics of things, that's just like the example that somebody else used that I said. When you look up Black Panther, what are you gonna find? Are you gonna find the real Black Panthers, or are you gonna see a fictional character that was made up in a comic book series?
Exactly.
What are you gonna find when you look up, Harriet Tubman? Do you know how many Harriet Tubmans there were? And I'm not meaning her name sake, but do you know how many people was doing that?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people was doing what Frederick Douglass was doing? Do you know how many people,
And,
the thing?
you know what? And you know what, Smooth, and and that's you see that's another thing where I always try to tell people. It's like, okay, put like this. It's like what you said, right? And then you look at what the fuck I'm doing. I got my channel, and whether or not somebody else is speaking on the same content that I'm speaking on. Let's just say that they are, right? I'm speaking the exact same thing that they speaking on, right? But they got all the motherfucking subscribers in the world, damn near, and they catching all of the motherfucking views in the world. But we both speaking the same shit, right? So I'm just like, okay, well, what gives here? So I'm pretty much like what you're saying. Like, yeah, everybody was doing that at that particular time, right? But these people here, they get, for whatever reason, they get put in the spotlight. It's the same thing with Rosa Parks, right?
Yeah, there was another lady. Before Rosa Parks, before and this is not to discredit these people.
Yeah.
That and they didn't. It's not. It wasn't a popularity contest nowadays.
Yeah.
Now, just like nowadays, you got people that don't want to work, but they want to be on YouTube every day. They want to be on social media every day. This is not what that is about. The thing is that these people back in the day, it was life and death. My own great grandfather. This is my great grandfather. Would tell me how he would have to walk miles to school and address people that were younger than him as ma'am and sir. In my mind, it was implanted in my mind to basically realize where you came from. It's not about who doing it and what for, as long as the conversation is had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta, it's not just a systemic injustice. It's the thing is that you can have 50 Scott Adams saying what he said.
Yeah.
The thing is that whether it's the truth or not, we as a people have to realize the damn truth.
Uh-huh.
The truth is that if you don't realize there is still an active rush to still make us believe that we are nothing less.
Yeah.
So I get the fact that somebody might get this channel. It might be 10 people over here and it might be 100 people over there. That's still 150 people listening to what we have to say.
Yeah.
That's still 150 people listening to the things that we say.
Yeah.
And all I say is I would respond with, well, where in the hell did you get off black people messing with white folks? Because as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the history goes back, it shows that we was minding our own damn business.
Exactly.
And then here y'all come. Because let the story be told, if you want to go back to the Roman times, where the hell did y'all get y'all education from? If story be told, y'all came on down to Africa and got an education, and y'all went on back up taught the Greeks.
Yeah.
But
you know what though, Smooth? Hasn't that always been the case?
It still is to this day.
Yeah, it's like what Professor Griff said one time. He said they were just like I forget how he said it. He said, but said they learned from our ancient ancestors. It said they learned, they took it back, they came back and they imitated, and then when they got enough, they came back and they destroyed. So it's almost like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna watch you, I'm gonna learn what you're doing, I'm gonna learn what you're doing, I'm gonna copy your every move, and then once I think I got enough, then I'm gonna go ahead and just take you out of the motherfucking equation.
And you know
Altogether.
what they did? The thing is, they called it a damn democracy. You know what I call it? I call a parasitic, catastrophic era. That is
Yeah.
a parasite. That
Yeah.
is exactly what a parasite does. A parasite finds a host, pretends to be a part or an object or something, an organ in that host,
Uh-huh.
and it sucks the life out of them.
And then
And then it goes on to the next, and it goes on to the next. Just like how they say, The Matrix was not a movie, it was a documentary. How many people has told us that?
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know about that too.
You know,
But,
and
but the thing about though is this, remember Terminator 2, Judgment Day? You
yeah,
know, it was the same shit. That thing would copy you, right? And then once it copies you, it kill you off, right? So it's like these motherfuckers, right? They tell you every goddamn day, whether it's on the big screen or the small screen. These motherfuckers, they telling you or they telling us, look, this is how we do things. This is how we actually really destroy y'all each and every moment of your lives. But you sit up here and you watch it and you ha ha kiki and laugh, or you crying about the shit and not really knowing what the fuck you laughing at and what the fuck you crying about. So like for me, I look at it and it'd be a lot of movies that my wife be wanting me to watch. And I'll be like, why? I already know what the fuck the outcome gonna be. Right? So so she's like, well,
it's funny. Somebody said that I forgot who I was listening to. I was listening to I think it was a podcast or something on YouTube, and he said that the movies or the entertainment district is not surprising anymore.
it's
So he
not.
doesn't want. I think it was Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
I think that's his name. He's a famous psychologist, and yeah, he's a Canadian psychologist. I think a lot of things you say, I think you would definitely concur with him.
Yeah.
But he speaks a lot on cultural and political issues, and the thing is that I think we lose sight. A lot of these things that happen, especially based on the Scott Adams thing, you got to be logical about some shit and how some things started.
Yeah. Exactly.
You people tend to you do all this and you forget. I mean, did you not realize how the hell you got here? Did you not realize? Oh, well, that wouldn't mean it. The thing is that how can you make it better?
Yeah.
Because you expect me to believe that let's say if another entity come on down from wherever they come on down to into this atmosphere, you expect me to kumbaya with Bob and Stacy when Bob and Stacy was doing all this "Make America Great Again" type of stuff. Not that I have an issue with that. Whatever.
Yeah.
You want me
to, go ahead.
You want me to forget people like for instance, I think J. Edgar Hoover and Ronald Reagan did a number on the black culture.
Oh yeah,
I think that "Say No to Drugs" was a crock of shit.
Yeah.
You wanted us to say no then, but then when them oxys start getting in the wrong hands of people, then it was we need more rehab centers or and we need fertility clinics. But you was still just like the scene in Boys in the Hood where where Furious took them to that sign. You know what I'm saying? It's just the thing is that instead of the marches only did what they was gonna do.
Yeah.
But you got to realize sticking together and doing the same thing. That's when it's so much more that has to be done. So many more conversations that has to be said. But you can't let certain people forget how we end up in this position.
Yeah, and and another thing is like what this Scott Adams guy said. Now, the thing about it though is this, right? Considering where, however you want to look at where white folks come from, and me, I do a lot of research or whatever, and then I just look at it like this: white folks, right? From this is like shit that I've like really researched myself, whether it was whether I saw it in a book or whether I saw it on YouTube, but white folks, so-called white folks, are nothing more than a result of us being albino. If you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, right? Now just like I said, depending on who you talk to, that's what they will say. So, because you got to look at it like this: at the beginning, it wasn't nothing but us running around this motherfucker. So you almost got to ask yourself, well, you almost got to ask yourself, okay, well, how did white folks get here? How did so-called white folks get here? Right? Because it ain't like that another group of people showed up after we did. So, because just like I say, we can produce, and Minister Farrakhan, he always say this, look, we can produce everybody else, right? But can't nobody else actually really produce us. And so, so for the most part, I truly, honestly believe that. And then for this guy to actually come out and say what the fuck he said, and it's just like, okay, dude, did you really stop and think about what the fuck did you actually really stop and think about did you stop and when you did the video, did you actually really stop and think about what you was about to say? Why do you feel like that you had to say it, right? And then what type of recognition, what type of personal gain that you was actually really going to get out of when you actually really made that fucking video. So again, it all depends on it all depends on how knowledgeable that you are, that for you to actually really come out and make, to make such of a statement like that. So
yeah, and I mean it can go so many ways because the media is gonna do what they do. They're gonna chop it up, they're gonna chop it and screw it, and they're gonna mix it up and use it the best way they can. But I would love to hear the entire conversation, or if it was an interview, I would definitely, because I'm always a person.
Yeah, because
do your research. You got to do your research. You got to understand what was his backstory. That's just like we see it every day. How many people watch Skip and Shannon and misconstrued every damn thing they say on that show?
Yeah, I know, right?
But when they call each other out, we like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. I didn't like what Skip said. Now that Shannon, I didn't like what Shannon said. Now that Skip, they break each other down. Some days, you might end up being a cheerleader, and some days you might be playing a bad guy one day.
Yes, but just like that one thing that Shannon Sharp said. He said he was saying, because I actually really saved the clip, but he was saying something about turning on the chick, right? He said, you know what? They say that. He said, you said, everybody always talk about being the bigger man. He said, you do that, it's only because there's too many little damn people in the room. I get tired of being the bigger man.
Yeah.
Right.
And I ain't turning the other cheek. I'm gonna stand on what I said. It is what it is. And we're gonna continue to move on. And I feel every word of that.
And then he said, I'm not fit to turn the other cheek. That's in the Bible. I ain't in there. I'm gonna put something on you.
Right.
So
that's what people in that if Shannon could, if I could explain to people what we look like today, it would be Shannon Sharp. A lot of people stand on that. If you think you finna make it like it used to be, if you think we give a damn, I am not my grandmother. I am not my ancestors. I am not my great granddad. I am not. You come in. I was raised. You come in and you change things.
Yeah.
You come in and you stir shit up. You get
You
as much
have to.
knowledge. You get as
have
much
to.
knowledge as you can,
Yeah.
and you speak. You speak proud. You stand on that. You know, I don't. I don't speak for understanding. It's more so comprehension. You hear me, I hear you, and we gonna hear each other. I don't give a damn if you like it or not.
Yeah, you have to go against the grain. You have to, because it's almost like, because if you don't go against the grain, right, then everything will be like, okay, well, they ain't saying shit, so everything must be cool. No, motherfucker, everything is not cool.
Everything ain't cool. Look, I mean, look, if you can pull up any topic of news, pull up the current event, it's a shit show.
Yeah.
It is a pure, like, for me, if I had to grade, give a grade to to any sector, it will be a F with flying colors. When you have things, we still talking about something we were dealing with 200, 400, 500 years ago.
Yep.
Y'all still sitting here, y'all got a book with a white Jesus in it that was from Middle East.
Yep.
Man, get on out of here with that stuff, man.
Okay.
Y'all still mad, but y'all don't want to say nothing about nothing else. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
It's so much more things. It's people, you got rent going up in areas where they have shootings and robberies.
Yep.
You have people that live check to check, but you got companies that have filed bankruptcy and they doing just fine.
Yep.
You got inflation is so damn high, it's ridiculous. So I mean, it's when you have so many things like that, you got to realize who did it. You got to blame them.
Yeah, because they the greedy motherfuckers. Like, seriously. So two more things. Dwayne Wade, because I don't know if you actually really saw the what is it, the
NAACP.
Yeah, did you see that the other night? And so now it's motherfucking official, right? She's not, he done went from Zion to Zaya or whatever. And so my whole deal is, where is the mother, and how come she not raising hell about it?
Well, see, the thing is that you got to go back to when Dwayne Wade was a rookie, and you got to look at the controversy between him and his ex-wife.
Okay.
But here's the thing, as a parent, I applaud him as a father. As a father, I applaud him for being there for his child. However, be that it may, I'm not discrediting, his, Gabrielle or his ex-wife. I would have, as a parent, you kind of, your child gets to a certain age where you don't control their every move and their every, activity. You kind of have to guide them in the right direction. How I would have handled that situation would have been totally different. But the way that man wants to raise his child, that's his business. I can respect that enough to say, hey, that baby got a lot more support than people without a father or with a father. That child has a hell of a lot of support than a lot of people that should have support. That child has love from a stepmother that's not even his biological mother.
Yeah.
But
But
we live in a world where people, you know, they knew what they were doing
uh
when they opened the floodgates on that little girl.
yeah, but
You know,
but the thing, my whole deal is like, okay, at the time you was 12, now she 15, you know, and so I don't want it to be one of those type of deals like, okay, I started feeling this way at 12. Now it's reality at 15. And then later on down the line, you be like, oh shit, I fucked up.
but that's their decision. That
Yeah,
would be that's her decision.
but again, I get that, but my thing is, and this just goes to show you that from the time that I was born, which was damn near 50 years ago, right? Uh, Technology is a motherfucker these days. I mean, so it's like, so for me, right? I don't want it to be where like, okay, I feel a certain way for however long I feel a certain way, right? And then I snap back to reality, whatever reality that may be, right? And so I just think that from the time that I was born up until now, I always felt like kids that get to a certain age, and for whatever reason, right, they'll feel a certain way, and I just feel like, okay, hey, look, guess what? That's called puberty. You gonna feel this way. That don't mean go out and go change shit, But again, it's just this is just me talking,
But
you know.
when you have an unlimited amount of access to money,
Yeah,
you
and
can
so
do
that's
whatever
the
the hell
thing.
you want. You
And
can
see,
do
and
whatever the hell you want, how you want, when you can
yeah,
live your life. Because that's the one thing in this world that is money. Like I tell people, my whole theory, money and time is not real. And when you figure that out, you will be living a life that nobody will understand but a few people. Kind of like
yeah,
how Dick Gregory said, when you get these glasses and you put them on, only you can see things through those glasses. You can't take them off and put them on to everybody else. They're gonna have to see for themselves.
yeah, yeah,
And when you realize that money and time, just like the calendar, is supposed to be 13 months, not 12. When you realize that they have manipulated some things, they manipulate money, they manipulate time.
yeah.
And when
Hell,
you start to realize those things and you start to look at things a different way,
yeah.
and you
I mean,
start to not care about those things. I really care less about what any one of these damn celebrities do, because for me, it ain't what I would do.
yeah,
If my child wanna came to me, okay, well, we gonna hold off on that. Okay,
uh,
we gonna test this out. Okay,
yeah.
don't you tell nobody. Don't you say shit. But you say a damn thing, because I kill a motherfucker over my child.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
because it's just like, it was years ago. Um, my friend, right? We was all over to his house, and he had his little nephew. It was either his little nephew or his little brother, or whatever. And I mean, first and foremost, he was 5, so he really didn't know no fucking better, right? So you know how little. I mean, because I was the same way when I was 5. You know, I didn't like girls. Then I mean, shit, I'm 5, right? So I'm just like, get fuck away from me. So basically, what he did, his girlfriend came over, and she was built like a brick shit house, right? And so he brought over, right? And so he said, "Hey, look, this is my little nephew. So he don't like girls or whatever." And so she looked at him. She's like, "Really?" right? And so now today, this would be classified as motherfucking child abuse or sexual abuse, right? So she took that little boy back there in that back room, and God knows whatever the fuck happened back there in that back room, right? But he come running, he come out the room, and it was almost like he had saw a ghost almost, right? And so I'm looking at her like, what did you do? Or what did you show him? Right? And she was just like, well, you ain't got to worry about him not liking females no more. And so I looked at her, I'm like, no, you didn't do that to that little boy. He fine. Right? So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Right? But, I just think sometimes, right? And then, like I said, like what you said, money is a motherfucker. If you got it, then you can go like live out your motherfucking wildest dream, right? But I just think sometimes when you go through a phase, let them little motherfuckers go through their phase, right? And eventually they'll come out of that shit, you know? So, but in other case, you know, uh, if they happy, I'm happy with it. But one last thing. Did you read about, I don't know if it was on the news, but it was just, I don't know if that little kid was up in Ohio or Florida, whatever. But it was a school board meeting had happened. He's 11 years old, right? So he went to the library, picked out this book, and it was a story about two boys, they sword fight, right? And so he took the book, so he took the book home, showed it to his dad. So on the next school board meeting, right, the little boy, he read like a little part of it and said they was in the room and whatever, and then they was, getting ready to do the damn thing or whatever. But then he said, but the book, now how he read it, they said one of the boys went to go reach for a condom. And so I'm like, well, hold on now. If these are two boys, the fuck you need a condom for? Okay, so in either case, so he said it, and then his dad got up. He said his little piece or whatever, and then so basically what they all up in the air because a book like that is in the library. On the I don't know how the school system is now, but I know like when I was going, you had kindergarten, of course, and then you had what's that? Middle school.
Yeah.
And then you had junior high, and then you had high school. So it's just like, okay, so this was in the middle school's library, I guess. So then, like I said, the little boy, he read it or whatever. He took it home to his dad. His dad got pissed off, naturally or whatever. And so they had a little school board meeting, and dad, like, hey, look, this is bullshit. Why y'all got material like this, you know, in any library, it's especially like when you dealing with kids. So I don't like I say, I don't know if you saw it or not, but if you did, what are your thoughts on it? Considering that what I just told you.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on that and get back to you.
Yeah, that's matter of fact. Wait a minute. I sent you and Zach the clip a couple days ago. That Officer Tatum.
Okay, if it's still in there, I'm gonna definitely check it out. You know me,
Yeah.
I see one thing, I go to another one, I'm on another one, I'm on another subject, but yeah, we can double back on that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, because I said it. I'm sure I said it to both of y'all. But if you didn't get it, then go on YouTube, type up Officer Tatum, and then it'll come up. You know. So, but yeah, just like I
Okay.
say, check that
But
out.
well, that one we talk about that one, and then another one I want you to do some research on.
Okay.
That bill Mississippi just passed.
Oh, okay. All right. I
You
can do.
yeah, you might want to go ahead and look at that one and get on back to me. Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna have to check that out because it is not on the news anywhere. And I
Okay.
knew it was coming because I heard about it. You know, I watch. I keep a recurring update
Is it
on.
Mississippi Bill 1020?
Yeah, I believe it's the bill 1020.
Okay. All right. Soon as we finish up here,
Yeah,
I'll check that out.
yeah, get into it, and if you need help looking at the bill, what you can do is you can always go to a state's website. For
Yeah.
instance, Mississippi.gov or whatever.gov, and you can look at recent bills and legislate. That will give you the full verbiage of the bill. And I want to see if you see what I see.
Okay. All right. And on a lighter note, here it is. I'm well, yeah. I'm under 30 days before I turn 50 years old.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be 50 and a happy new year, the real
Yeah.
new year.
And but to um to be honest with you, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I didn't think that I would make it to be 50 years old. I'm not gonna say that, but to 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 still be in the gym, to be able to do what I can do at 50. Uh, it's just north of being motherfucking fantastic, you know, for me because I know a lot of 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, right? That that I would actually really run circles around, as far as like uh, physical fitness and considering all of the stuff that I have accomplished so far, right? You know, and for me to actually like really to get a chance to see 50, it actually like really means a lot to me, you know, that I can still get up and do what I enjoy doing. So,
Well,
and then go
well,
ahead.
well, young man, how we say it is where I come from. We say you is living your best life, and
Oh
you is
yeah,
having it your way.
yeah. So, but yeah, but then like I said, it's to I mean, for me, I got well, I got two grandchildren with me, and the other two are there in Texas. So it's just like to do what I've done. I did a 21-year career, and before that, I marched on DC. I went to the Million Man March. I did shit in my community before joining the army. Then I joined the army, did what I had to do, wrote a book. I mean, I was like, like I said, I'm still in the gym. And I like to think that, hey, shit, I'm doing pretty good for myself.
I mean, that's the thing. We live in this world where they want you to rush and do this by this age, do this by this age. But when you realize that things don't happen, you know, to you. They happen for you.
Yeah.
You know, and is you know you have gotten you got to this point as you get to other points, you know, and it's like what you it's not like the best thing that I've learned in these last few years, it's not so much about where you finna end at.
Yeah.
It's the journey, it's what happens along the way. That's the best part. And all these things that we as people get to do along the way, life is better when you doing it your way.
Oh yeah.
Life is so much better, you know. It's just like you said, you travel the world, you did this X, Y, and Z, blah 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 blah, and then it's so fulfilling. And people be looking at you like, damn, it ain't nothing you haven't do. No, I'm finna go do it right now. Matter of fact, you want to come with me, or you want to sit here and be all like a sour thumb, you know?
Yeah. And so it did, you know, that's what I'm saying, right now, I can feel, I feel like, because my thing is, I traveled the world, right? And then I could actually like really say that one job that I had, shit, I traveled the motherfucking country. Shit, I've traveled to the East Coast. I've traveled to the West Coast. Hell, I even went as far as to the Canadian border to actually like really take pictures of the Canadian border and see the motherfucking where you go through customs.
Yeah.
And then and then to even go south of the border, right? So to travel the world and go north, south, east, and west in this country, right? I've to meet all different types of people, whether it's worldwide or nationwide. I can say, I'm not gonna say that I've done it all, but I've I've put like this. I didn't had my share,
Right.
and I just hope that I can continue to travel. I mean, because just like for me, motherfucker be like, "Where you been, motherfucker?" Everywhere.
Everywhere. I've been all around the world and back again.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So the thing about it though, and I can be like, shit, I'm a better person because I did travel.
Right.
Now, great fact, everybody don't have that opportunity. Well, I'm gonna take that back. People do have the opportunity. It's just whether or not that you actually really gonna, when it's like right there, right? What are you gonna actually really do with it?
They don't make it happen. A lot of people don't have that drive and that time, and they don't make it. They don't make it happen. They don't see it that way. So, I mean, and that's how it is for some folks, and that's what a lot of successful people bank on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure you're gonna stay in the same place so you can continue working at this job that I don't pay shit at, so you can stay down. But the people that get it, it's a beautiful thing when you put things together that are not of this earth, and it's more of a mental satisfaction. I tell people, you're like, how can you stay by yourself for so long? Because I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
I'm doing the things that I want to do, and if something doesn't go my way, that's just how it is going to be. That is what was to be before I even was here going through it. I'm able to be happy. I don't have to. Things change. When you go through so much. When you experience is the best teacher.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And it's better that way. So, yeah. But I gotta roll out.
All right, then.
As always,
like I say, I'm gonna check that out, and then I will most definitely get back with you on that one there.
All right, I'll holler at you. Be safe. Much love.
All right, now you too now.
All right.
Yeah, peace. All right, y'all. Uh, another uh, another good show. Uh, like I say, I'm always saying what I gotta say, and I always like to hear what my two battles got to say on a lot of on the subject that we actually really talk about. Like I said, here it is. I'm officially under 30 days before I actually really turn 50 years old. Uh, a lot of people don't actually really and not to say that I'm gonna actually really make it to 50 because just like I said, I still got 29 days left. So anything between now and March 31st, anything and everything can actually really happen to me right now. Right? Who's to say I may not make it to 50. But I will say this much. If I don't, for whatever reason that Yahweh has to say, well, you know what? You didn't did enough. I'm finna doggone bring you home. Right? And I'll always look at the simple fact of out of all the accomplishments that I've done in this 49 years, 11 months and 2 days, right? Just like I say, from the community groups from the community group Acorn that I was a part of, that for the most part gave me the chance to go to Washington D.C. to actually really be on the footsteps of Washington D.C. to be part of the Million Man March, and to actually really and even before that to graduate from the greatest high school ever, Little Rock Central High School, which is now which is now a national monument. Meaning they can never tear that motherfucker down, regardless of how I feel about education now. I will always say, look, if it wasn't for those first nine, way back in 1957, I would be sitting here talking about that I graduated from Little Rock Central High School, and for my doggone 21 years that I served this country. And on top of that, me actually really writing the book and actually really in the works of writing the second book of my life after I had actually really got out, right? And hopefully I can actually really get that published. To be married to the most beautiful woman ever, even though sometimes we don't see eye to eye, but hey, you tell me a marriage that the couple actually re-see eye to eye on every goddamn thing. If you see eye to eye on every motherfucking thing, something is seriously wrong with that goddamn marriage. So, in either case, if I die tonight, I have no regrets. Yahweh has actually really thought that, look, you know what? You did enough. Time for you to come home now. And I have no listen, I really have no I really would never have no problems with it. Yeah, I know I'm sitting up here stumbling, but just know that Apollos Harris, the crazy uncle, if my life was to get turned out tonight, guess what, people? I have no motherfucking regrets. Whether I be missed, I'm pretty sure that I would if I was actually really die tonight. But just know this, hey, it's been a great run. I enjoyed myself the whole time. And so, hey, with that being said, hey, guess what? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door across the street around the corner. Paulus Harris, a.k.a. the crazy uncle. Till next time.